And these darn big block Fords. Gas is so darn expensive, I can't afford to keep these things on the road. Simple fact of the matter is I'm going to have to go electric. That's right, I'm going electric. An easy-go golf cart. And really, it replaces both the functions of my classic cars. Fine luxury seating and a convenient bed. It even has lights. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Redneck Light. Today we're going to be taking a look at my new to me EasyGo PDS, I don't know, golf cart. I live in an area where a golf cart's very convenient, puts a little bit less wear and tear on the big vehicles, and I mean, who doesn't like a golf cart? We got a pretty good deal on it. Now I know next to nothing about golf carts, other than what I just quickly researched online. I did cover some of the basics. It's got a newer lithium battery that's been replaced recently, a few upgrades here and there. But we're going to do a walkthrough of pretty much everything on it. And I'd love to know if you've got experience with these kinds of golf carts, if you have any suggestions, things I should do, things I should look out for, please comment on the video. Let me know. I'd love to get your feedback and know what I need to do with this thing. So let's get started. So like I said, it's an EasyGo. I believe it is a 2008 model. I mean, it's like every golf cart I've ever seen or driven. They painted it purple. It used to be that, random, that regular beige color, whatever. The paint's in actually pretty good shape, minus a few little bits and pieces here and there. It's got a tinted windshield, which I think they all come with that, so nothing all that special. A few upgrades it has. It has functional turn signals. They added a little turn signal switch up here, and they are LED turn signals. LED lights that are fairly bright. It's got a little horn. Pretty loud one too, so that's nice. Up here on the front you can see the little battery indicator there. That came, I'm imagining, with the lithium battery upgrade it's got. Pretty basic model. I'm thinking maybe it used to be a fleet golf cart or something. One of the mirrors, now the mirrors look like maybe they were added on. One of them is busted out. No big deal. I might not even use them because the rear view mirror up here is more than wide enough. Under the seat we have a lithium battery here. That's the little charger port. A lithium battery pack. As far as the wiring goes, it looks like it was done pretty decently. A little messy. There's a little reducer so you can plug 12-volt accessories in. It's even got a little inverter there. The guy said he used it to run Christmas lights and things on it when he drove around the neighborhood. I'm guessing that thing is the control box. There's a little switch on it that I think disconnects the motor. Yeah, okay, yeah, tow and maintenance, so I think that disconnects the motor from the battery. Oh, it's even got a few different fault codes and things. I'm guessing this is the controller doodad. Like I said, this is brand spanking new to me. There's a little sticker on the battery. It's a 36 volt. The guy said that he replaced it in October, so that's good news. Most of the value of a golf cart is in its batteries, from what I understand. Put some 2x4s in there to brace it up. It looks like it works okay, but we'll double check it. Looks like there's the motor back there. Been driving it around a little bit. Haven't done anything else to it, but it drives good. The seats, he replaced them with nice black upholstered seats, but it's got this little bed that you can convert seats so 4 people can ride on it. Tires look okay. They still have a decent amount of tread, it looks like. Just a little dirty. One thing I read online is you got to check to make sure there's not a lot of play in the steering. There doesn't seem to be a lot from what I could tell. Down here they got the little slow moving emblem. I don't think you can hide it in the back like this. I might move it. But yeah, overall it's a nice unit. There's a few different things I want to do to it. And this is one of those things. It didn't come with seat belts from the factory because that's just how a golf cart is. But I'm going to have my kids riding in this, and while it's fine to hold on to them while they're moving around, it would be nice to have some seat belts to strap them in. So I think I'm going to add some seat belts. I know they have plenty of aftermarket kits. A few cosmetic tweaks like removing the name of the guy that originally owned this. And also down here, love the coyotes, but the block letter Anna is eh. Like I said, the paint looks real good. Like one of these headlight bezels, yeah, this one is kind of loose. Missing nut over here holding the canopy down. It's real dusty, just because the guy was saying that he just hadn't used it in a long time. That's why he's getting rid of it. I think I'm going to take these mirrors off because I don't think I need these side views when I have the rear view over here. The great thing about these golf carts is there's like thousands of different accessories and things that they've made for this. So a radio with some speakers, you know, things just to make it a little bit more fun. I think the big thing for me to start out is I'm going to inspect and clean up the wiring a little bit, just to make sure that it's safe. Everything's working correctly. I'm not parking a big giant fire hazard in my shop here. One thing I'm wondering is if there's some kind of disconnect switch, because I'd like to be able to cut the battery off. Other things I've heard online, when I was driving around, according to my phone, I was going a max of 13 miles an hour. I've read online there's freedom chips or something that you can use to change the governor behavior. So definitely a fun new toy for me to play around with. Like I said, I don't golf. Just about everybody around me has a golf cart and we go visit each other and things like that. It's more convenient than a car. So I think what I'll start with is take a look at the wiring, make sure that everything looks okay, maybe clean up and tidy up a little bit what's going on under here. Coming down in here, we're going to go into maintenance mode. I'm pretty sure that's what that switch is for. That way I can kind of look around all this wiring. Still got to be careful, of course.
Future Alex here. The main mistake I made here is I did not disconnect the negative battery terminal. I'm used to cars with 12-volt systems where you can leave the battery hooked up and screw around with the wiring, and typically it's not a big deal. A 36-volt system with a gigantic amount of amperage behind it will potentially hurt you. Probably won't kill you, but it's still very dangerous. Now, I'm typically pretty safe with any kind of electronics. I know not to touch things together, look for damage and everything like that. But from a safety standpoint, you really need to disconnect the negative battery terminal and block or tape over the negative battery terminal before you do any kind of maintenance or service on the wiring of your golf cart. It's just not something that I thought of. I didn't know. I'm used to gas-powered cars with 12-volt systems. But now that I know, I always disconnect the negative battery terminal whenever I do any service on my golf cart, and you should too.
There's no hold down for this battery. I mean, it's a heavy battery and it's kind of but I would like to see something that just kind of holds it down, because you never know if you go over a big bump or something that gets dislodged. Could be a bad time. Now this is just an inverter. We'll take that out of there for now. So I guess that's nice. I scored a free inverter. What they would have done with the 12-volt accessories like the headlights is they would just hook them to one of the 12-volt lead-acid batteries. You know, since if you hook it up to just one battery, that would be just 12 volts. With this, you've only got the two 36-volt leads, so you need that reducer in order to hook up any 12-volt accessories. So, okay. So I kind of understand what all of this is doing, but at the same time, it's kind of a mess. And to be honest with you, I would do something like this if I'm just trying to hook everything up and get it working. But I would like to see this a little bit cleaner. Maybe have like a distribution block, a fuse block. I don't know if that's overkill for this kind of system, but it would be nice to see more fuses. It would be nice to see something a little bit cleaner for distribution to the different parts of the cart. So I got the wheels chalked in the back. One thing I just want to do real quick is lift the front up and just look for play. I think that's pretty acceptable. You know, there's a tiny bit of play, but I mean, it's not wobbling around. So you tell me, would you say that's a lot of play that I need to worry about? Or nothing crazy? Yeah, both of those roll just fine. Fun fact, this is the first clip I'm filming with my new camera, so I hope it looks good. So I've got some new parts in the mail. One of the biggest things I want to do first, there's fireworks going off. It's the night before the 4th of July. So of course there's got to be people blowing fireworks right now. I've got a few things that I want to put on here. The most pressing is a seatbelt kit. Now I've got young kids, so it's kind of imperative for me to have a seatbelt, because if you've ever tried to hold a squirming, wiggling toddler in a seat while you're trying to drive, It's not ideal. Okay, now they make a bunch of these different, I think they're all the same. They probably all come from the same factory, but a lot of the comments have the same theme. It works, but the instructions suck. You need to have a little bit of your own kind of technical mind or a basic understanding of kind of how things work to really get the most out of this kit. So we've got this thing, which I'm thinking the longer side should go toward the front. Let me think this through. I'm not sure which side I should put this on. So let's see. If I do this, I kind of want the seat belts to be kind of the same distance from the back of the seat. That looks about right. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. I'm going to mount the bar like so, with the short side toward the back, the long side toward the front, because if you look at the seat, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's roughly, those two holes are the same distance and won't be protruding too much on one side or the other. As far as centering it, I've got these two convenient brackets on the cart itself that I'm assuming are centered, and that will allow me to center the bracket there, which will center it on the seat. Now the hardware, you see we've got these two little brackets that I can use to clamp down, and some pretty beefy, heavy-duty nuts and bolts. Okay, they weren't kidding when they say the instructions stink. It's really just kind of a reference document. So you're going to have to figure a lot of this out yourself. But like I said, having tiny bits of experience with redneck engineering, based on the hardware they give you, I'll go ahead and work on getting everything kind of mocked up and put on, and I'll kind of show you before I tighten everything up how this is going to look. Well, I've run into my first issue here. So I have the bolt there, and it's at the very edge of its length, and it's not long enough. You can really get an idea of it here. The bracket won't sit straight, so I can't clamp it. All right, I can very strongly conclude that this kit in particular is trash. Basically, the hardware they give you, this bolt is too short. I had to exclude the lock washer in order to just get it to thread on. The washer that they give you is too small on this side because the gap, the bolt would slip through, so I had to get one of my own just spare washers to stick on there. So, like I said, this is one of those kits that there's a bunch of the same sets. I bet I saved maybe $5 on this, and they gave me cheap hardware. I guess spend the extra couple bucks and get the one with good hardware. I've got everything tightened down, but see, the problem here is the whole point of having a lock washer is to keep these from backing out as, you know, vibrations and things over time. But there just simply isn't enough room. If they had made these bolts like a 1/4 inch longer, I'll just have to keep an eye on them. Let's see if the rest of this manages not to be a big debacle. So I got the first two brackets in. So what I started was just kind of loosely putting the hardware in and kind of figuring out how far I wanted everything to stick out. The front seat here, basically the receiver made more sense to put on the hole kind of farther back. The belt retractor made more sense to go on the outside. So they both kind of end up being at about the same spot, same distance out there. You can kind of see the belt comes out. Now this is one of those cinching belts. It's like an old car seat belt, but basically you gotta pull it out as far as you want it to go and then let it come back. So it'll be around your waist or whatever. But it cinches pretty well. Feels solid. It's a seat belt. Let me go ahead and get everything else put in, and I'll kind of show you the final result here. All right, we've got seat belts. As long as you're not carrying like 3 or 4 people. If you carry 3 people, someone's going to have that in their back. But if you carry 4 people, you could squish them all together, kind of, you know, to a seat belt set. But like I said, this was really a safety upgrade for my very young kids. There's the first upgrade. It was the most pressing one I want to get to tonight. I would say that this set sucks because the bolts are too short and they really cheap out on the hardware. That said, in the description, I'm going to put a kit that, at least from what I can tell on the pictures, has longer and better hardware. A few bucks more than the kit I got, but it's worth not having to improvise. And I'm going to have to keep checking those bolts to make sure that they don't back out. I don't think they will, but you really never know. On to the next upgrade. Well, I didn't bother filming an outro, but so I'm going to split this video into two parts. The next part is going to be all about the electrical system. My trials and tribulations of putting in a fuse block, cleaning up the wiring, and installing some electrical upgrades. So subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when that drops. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time.